And then after all, once we got home, we got a little dog, you know,
No.
which was nice.
Yeah.
And we had, when we were in this place in Cornwall, this flat we had, which was very nice, we had seagulls that used to come sit on. We had a windowsill outside the bedroom, and these seagulls used to come and sit on there in the mornings and tap with their beaks to ask for some breadcrumbs.
Oh.
We had names for them. One of them was called Sydney. I can't remember what the other one was called.
Sydney. Oh. So when did you move out here then? Is that when?
Move here?
Yeah.
Well, after the war we came back and we were then in Shirley in Croydon, which is, you know, just outside Croydon. We were there until, what year did we move here?
So you had a couple of flats with Dad in Croydon first, didn't you? Then you.
Yes, we had. That's right. We did. We had two places. We had a sort of semi-basement room in one place, flat, and then we had a first floor flat near East Croydon Station. But then when we moved here, I can't remember what year that was now.
Was it a couple of years before Jenny was born?
Yes, it must
Crawley
have been.
Lane,
It must have been. So she wasn't born when we moved there, no. Yeah. But,
What was it like coming down to Crawley?
it was okay actually, because David worked in London at the time. He worked for the Press Association first of all, and then for the BBC, and so he had to travel up to London every day. So we managed to find this house right down near Three Bridges Station, which has a very fast line up to London.
Oh, yeah.
So he bought this place down there, which now turned into doctor's surgery, funny enough. So.
Really?
And it was very good because it's very near the station, and
Yeah.
also it's right near the school. You just had to go up the road around the corner and you were at the school. So the three children all went there to school, and we could hear the school from this bungalow had a big back garden, and then beyond that there was a school field, you know, so we were very near to the school. So they just had to walk up the road to get to it, so that was very convenient. It was nice. But,
What was it like for you being? Because when Dad was working for you, and Crawley was a bit. What was it like being?
well, first of all, it was lonely, you know. It took me a long time to get to. And then I got involved with playgroups. Fred and I set up our own playgroup, a mother and toddler group, and so I got involved with that. So that introduced me to a whole lot of new people.
Yeah.
And when we first started, I was used, my house and name was used as the registration, so everybody used to come and see me to register in the playgroup. So that was good, and we enjoyed that. We had a mother and toddler group and a playgroup. This was my friend Delphine and I, and then we went on from there, and then I became part of social services under fives workers. So I visited all the childminders, playgroups, nurseries in Crawley area, and registered them and then inspected them every few months. And so that was, and ran courses to train the people who were doing that. So that was quite interesting. And it's funny because now, I mean, I haven't done it now for some years, but if I walk around Crawley, lots of people say, "June, how are you?"
Really? Oh.
And I think, "I'm fine." And I think, "I don't know who the hell you are."
Yeah.
But it was very interesting work. It was very good.
Because people always used to come up to her and she'd spend half an hour talking to them.
Oh.
You walk in the street
They
and you're with
hated
mum,
it.
and you're just like, oh, get on some beers.
That's relatable.
Well, it was quite interesting because you visited nurseries, obviously, where people were having small children, you know, when their mothers were working, and then childminders who had their children in their own homes, and then playgroups and mother and toddler groups who had them just during the day. And it was a real mixture of people and things. So it was interesting, you know, it was interesting work.
Yeah, sounds nice. What kind of things did you have to look out for when you're inspecting?
Sorry?
When you're inspecting the places, what kind of things did you have to look out for?
Very basic things. I mean, when you look to see a childminder, for example, the most important thing was how she was treating that child.
Yeah.
And then the other thing was whether the place was reasonably clean. I mean, I don't mean we looked in every corner to see if it was clean, because I wasn't that sort of person, you know, but it was important it was reasonably clean and safe.
Yeah.
That's the main thing. There was nowhere that was dangerous for the
Yeah.
child, and that was the main thing. And that they, taking proper responsibility for them. And the same if you went to a nursery or a play group, you had to check that things were safe for the children.
Yeah.
And a friend and I ran a play group and a mother and toddler group for a long time in the town. And that was very interesting to do. We enjoyed that very much. And we had one was in a cricket pavilion. That was quite interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you learn such a lot of things as you make your way through things like that.
Yeah.
We were paid by the social services, local authority social services, and had petrol paid by them as well.
Yeah.
So you're visiting all around the town and the outskirts of towns.
Yeah. What was it like being a mum?
Being a mum,
Yeah. When you had the kids
it
little.
was very nice. I mean, it was hard work at times, but no, I enjoyed it. No, I enjoyed it very much. I mean, there were times he had to fit a couple of fits when he was a baby, and I was
Difficult child.
I was at home on my own. David was working late. I was home on my own, and he suddenly had one of these fits. I didn't know what to do, and I phoned the doctor. And the doctor, to give him his credit, he came round in his pyjamas.
Oh, really?
Yes, he ran because I told him I was holding him and saying he's had a fit. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. So he said, "Just calm me down." He said, "No, just do this." And he came round. He was there within 10 minutes. And he got to the front door. Just time David came home from work. David said, "What are you doing?"
In his pyjamas, yeah. That's your story. Was that the one where Jenny cried out or something, so that then you noticed that I was having the fix? Jenny was...
Yes, that's right, yes. She just cried or something, so I went to see to her and then realised that you were struggling. So, yeah, it saved your life, really. But,
Jenny.
Well, I saved Laura. And Laura was stuck in a cot and I saved her. Cause I
Did you?
Yeah, she got her head stuck in a cot.
Oh,
Do you remember? Trying to break through, but she was too chubby.
And you just realised it, did you?
Yeah, I must have.
Yeah, you were
Mum, Laura's stuck.
and we thought we would be stuck. There was a head was stuck.
How much is the difference of ages there between you?
Well, basically 2 years.
2 years, yeah.
18 months.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
22 months.
Well, it's like David Johnson and me, isn't it? 18 years.
Michael knew. Yeah.
Hmm?
Yeah, no, Michael knew. Yeah.
Michael, yes. So. No, that's fine.
Yeah,
so
we had lots of adventurous holidays, didn't you?
we did, yes. Yes, because David was very keen on all sorts of holidays, going to different places, wasn't he, doing things. Which was nice, it was good, wasn't it?
Yeah, didn't you go to India?
Yes, yes.
And what was that like?
That was wonderful, yeah, really good. Except I got very ill.
Oh, really?
Well, because I was stupid, I drank water I shouldn't have drunk, and things like that. And
Yeah.
even that ice cream in the streets I shouldn't have done.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, I really enjoyed it. It was fascinating because it was so different from anything else that they were been to.
And what happened on the plane? You had something happen on the plane.
Oh yeah, I collapsed on the plane,
Oh, wow.
so they had to land.
The plane had to land.
And yes, and then call an ambulance. And I was taken. They landed on the tarmac, and I was left. The plane had to stay there while they sent for an ambulance. So then I was in this stretch, I think, and then the ambulance came. And I was taken to the hospital, where I was put upstairs in a room, and because I completely dehydrated, my heart was failing,
Oh, wow.
and all because I'd been sick so much,
Oh, yeah.
And then they put me up in this room, and people kept. It was very funny because the Indian people
Yeah.
had never seen a white woman
Oh, really?
like that before, so they all kept coming, peering in the door, looking at me.
That's so weird.
Unfortunately, I recovered fairly quickly, but it did rather spoil the holiday.
Wow. Were you telling me as well that when you went to France or something with your friend?
Did I what?
You went to France or some Interrail or somewhere with your friend?
A fight?
To France or somewhere?
Yes,
You
yes.
went travelling with your friend?
Yes, that's right.
When was that?
Sorry?
When was that? Was that when you
That
were
was a few years ago, about 4 years ago, I suppose.
there?
I always said it's the best holiday I've ever had for seeing different places, because we went on these trains, and you just went from one station to another one, and you could see, we saw all these different lovely cities in France, cities and small towns and these, went all round, and it was so simple because you just caught the train to the station, from the station, got out to the next place, and then we booked accommodation in advance. And it was really very good holiday.
You went to Eastern Europe, didn't you?
Yes. Yes, where did I go in Eastern Europe?
Was it Prague? Or?
Oh yes, we went to one of these, what was the place, very sort of eastern sort of place.
Budapest? Was it Budapest?
Budapest, yes, and a huge island where there was lots of Buddhist and temples and things there. I can't remember what it's called now. I have to look it up. But it was interesting, yes, it was